the kitchen, dining hall, stables, armoury, and rest house surrounded the octagonal training ground where she stood. All of them were sturdy structures that had withstood the elements for centuries, but all were dwarfed by the defensive walls soaring above them. Even the council house, by far the grandest building with its beautifully carved pillars, appeared little more than a toy beneath those walls. High above 12's head, the two sky bridges arced gracefully between the ramparts, quartering the distant octagon of sky and allowing patrolling hunters to see for miles.
12?
Victory frowned.
Partnerless again?
There were a few sniggers. The weapons master scowled and stepped closer, lowering her voice. Practicing alone will only take you so far. You need a decent sparring partner to challenge yourself. Her blue eyes scanned 12's face, piercing and expectant. 12's reply was halted by a hand squeezing her arm.
I'll practice with you,
7 offered, carefully avoiding the weapons master's gaze. Victory's sigh as she strode away said it all.
Keeping the weirdos together,
someone muttered. 12 spun to confront them, her cheeks flaming, but the speaker was already lost in the shifting crowd. The pale, red-headed girl beside her beamed, and 12 groaned. Sparring with 7 was worse than practicing with a straw dummy. Her attention span was shorter than a Snarrow's, and her skills with any weapon doubtful at best. On top of that, although she was probably about 13 years old like 12, her build was that of a much younger girl. 12 felt like a giant next to her. It made them particularly ill-suited, and yet they were often thrown together. Everyone else avoided them. 7 was odd. 12 was scary. Most of the stumps were already taken, so the girls threaded their way across the training ground to a less crowded spot.
Where's Widge?
7 asked as they walked.
I haven't seen him today.
Widge was 12's squirrel, but it had actually been the other girl who had found him as a kit, fallen from his nest. Instead of keeping him, 7 had given him to 12, something 12 still didn't understand.
I'm not sure.
12 shrugged.
You know, he comes and goes as he likes.
She bit her tongue to stop herself saying more. 7 nodded as she clumsily unsheathed her sword. 12 reached over her shoulders, grabbing the hafts of her 2 axes. Her confidence surged with them in her hands, and she leaped lightly onto the nearest log.
Shall we?
She asked. 7 snorted with laughter as she hopped experimentally between stumps.
Wobbly, aren't they?
That's the point,
12 said, unable to keep a snap out of her voice.
Can we start?
Shouts of laughter, yelps of surprise, and the clash of steel rang out across the training ground. But 12 had only to wave an axe at 7, and the other girl would drop her weapon or fall off the stumps. In the end, she practiced by herself, while 7 sat and watched.
Whirl, strike, duck, block, lunge, sidestep.
12 ran through her routine faster and faster until her axes were a glinting blur. Beneath her furs, she was unbearably hot, but she didn't break her flow, enjoying the challenge of keeping her balance on the precarious stumps.
Look out!
7 cried suddenly. This was quickly followed by a yelp and a crash.